Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. It's in the description below. Reach out to me directly for pricing. Today, we're discussing a 2019 variant of a watch that came out in its current form back at Bezel World 2016. New in orange with white dial for 2019. This is the Omega Seamaster Planet Ocean 600-meter 43.5 millimeters in stainless steel with orange bezel insert, ceramic orange bezel insert, white ceramic dial, a very distinctive, full-featured, full-sized professional-grade dive watch. The timepiece is, of course, 43.5 in diameter, 16.3 millimeters thick, just the case, but if you add this NATO-style strap, the composite thickness is 19.3 millimeters, 49 millimeters from lug to lug. The spacing between the lugs here is 21 millimeters. Now, the watch is substantial. Throw it on the wrist and you immediately understand that this is a high-grade diving instrument. While it's obvious that in the modern era, a dive computer is going to be your primary dive timer, it is both nostalgic and practical to have a backup, and I can't think of a better way to do it than with this watch. On my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, you can see that it is quite large. Not huge, actually. If this were on a regular strap, it would be a lot easier to wear flush fit to my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. So as you see it here, I'd wear it on a wrist down to about 15 centimeters circumference. And if you were to put it on a strap that flares out a little bit less and adds less thickness, I could say you'd probably wear this watch on a wrist down to 14.5 centimeters circumference. A really nice piece and very comfortable. The timepiece, of course, includes an Omega factory NATO strap that is perfectly matched to the color scheme. And you can see one of the best that you will find. The Omega factory strap is both branded and equipped with stainless steel minders. Now you can see there is a simple no-nonsense pin buckle outboard, and then the binding is actually fairly easy to undo, and we're going to do that so we can see the back side of the watch and appreciate the movement. But it is beautifully made. You can see it's actually three tones: white, orange, and then gray. Taking a look at the case band, you know it well from many Seamasters and Speedmasters over the years. Lyre-style lugs, they have that inward bevel and then that outward cant. They have a mid-case bevel that's polished that expands at the end of the lugs. Thin longitudinal strips for the case band. You can see there's a little bit of a countersink to protect the crown from shearing. And then we have a helium escape valve with a lovely combination of polished flanks, media blasted top, and then relieved and raised helium sign in polish. Unscrew this, and as you are ascending from your saturation dive, the valve will open and release helium from the interior of the watch when the internal pressure exceeds external by about 2 to 3 bar. The watch is 600 meters water resistant, which means far more than you'll ever need. And the bezel, which is sharply knurled, you can see the recesses are matte finished, the outer faces are polished. It is a 120 click bezel. Let's have a listen. Very precise. You can use it to locate the luminescent index against the broad arrow style minute hand. Now you have a 0 to 60 minute count up timer, which I find very practical. I prefer diving bezels to chronograph because diving bezels are easier to read and they don't have the downstream maintenance costs of a chronograph mechanism. Now the orange insert here is new for the Planet Ocean. Previously, Planet Ocean bezels with orange inserts had a little piece of rubber to represent the orange segment. Here, this is true orange ceramic, so very scratch resistant. The dial is also made of ceramic, white ceramic. You can see the chemical formula zirconium oxide just below the hands. The result is it has that glossy gleaming quality, resistance to tarnish, oxidation, water damage, and also a scratch resistance that some folks associate with hardened vitreous enamel dials. This is actually even more scratch resistant during handling by your watchmaker than enamel would be. It's also more affordable than enamel. Really all the advantages, none of the drawbacks. Rhodium coated hands, rhodium coated applique Omega logo, applique orange, tri-Arabic numerals, applique indices, gloss white base, and then you've got a couple of subsidiary setting modes that make it easier to set your watch. The first is a time zone feature. So you see the watch is still keeping time. The movement hasn't stopped. The seconds hand is not disrupted, nor is the minute hand displaced, and I'm able to drive the date forward or backwards depending on which direction I'm traveling. Great, because I can step the watch in detented 1 hour increments. I can also pull the crown out all the way. Now I have hacking seconds, and I can set the watch to a reference time to the second. Turn it all over, caliber 8900. The master chronometer evolution of the 8500, it's everything the 8500 was, but more so. Bidirectional winding, 60-hour power reserve, 2 barrels, so you don't have that big single barrel amplitude drop off after 24 or 48 hours. That's really why you have the 2 barrels here. Anti-magnetic, really amagnetic, with a silicon hairspring and an anti-magnetic escapement. Beats away at the silicon hairspring specific rate of 25,200 vibrations per hour. You'll see it across many different Swatch Group brands that use the silicon hairspring. Braced against shock, it has a full balance bridge and a free spring index. It is a tri-level coaxial escapement as invented by George Daniels in 1974, industrialized by Omega in 99, and today it gives you everything from short-term precision to long-term timing stability to longer intervals between services. And of course, it is a master chronometer with the movement tested, yes, to COSC standards, but then cased up and tested for chronometry in 6 positions, not just 5, as well as for winding efficiency, power reserve, anti-magnetism, and yes, they do enter the frame with water resistance because the master chronometer test is a test of the fully cased up watch, so water resistance is part of the test. The 39 joule movement is remarkably tough, accurate, technologically advanced, and of course exclusive to Omega, so you will not see this caliber in other Swatch Group brands. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. Back with the Seamaster Planet Ocean by night, you can see 2 impressive feats. 1, differential lume, so you can tell the bezel and the minute hand apart at a glance. 2, a fully lumed bezel. In spite of having ceramic, the infill has been rendered luminescent, so you can easily reference the entire 60 minutes in the dark or during a dive.